Let's use the epsilon delta definition of continuity to prove that x squared is continuous on the real numbers. I'll leave a link in the description to my lesson introducing this definition of continuity if you need to review. As always, we begin our continuity proof with an arbitrary epsilon that's greater than 0. And since we're trying to prove that x squared is continuous on all real numbers, we'll take a point C from the reals to prove that x squared is continuous at this arbitrary real number. Now, we're going to let delta equal something. We're going to have to do some work to figure out what delta should equal so that our proof will work. But we'll just carry on with the proof and figure out delta as we go. So we'll say for all x where the absolute value of x minus c is greater than 0 and less than delta, we have the following. And we're going to work with this expression, which is the distance between f of x and f of c. We're going to work with that to eventually end up with showing that it's less than epsilon. So we're showing that the function is sufficiently close to its value at c, provided that x is sufficiently close to c. Now, f of x, of course, is x squared, and f of c is c squared. So we have the difference of squares, x squared minus c squared, and we can factor that into x minus c times x plus c, where each factor still has to be in absolute value bars. Now, the absolute value of x minus c, we know, is less than delta. So we can replace the absolute value of x minus c with delta to make this expression bigger. Now, how are we going to control the absolute value of x plus c? Well, we can actually do something interesting here, which is to subtract c and add c inside these absolute value bars. Obviously, that's just adding 0, so we're not changing anything, but as you'll see, this actually will let us work with the expression a lot more easily. So this is less than, replacing the absolute value of x minus c with delta, and then we subtract c and add c in the absolute value bars. We're not changing anything at all by doing that. Now, x minus c we can view on its own and split this expression across that addition using the triangle inequality. By the triangle inequality, the absolute value of this plus this is less than or equal to the absolute value of this plus the absolute value of c plus c, which of course is 2c. So now we have the absolute value of x minus c, which we can control because it's less than delta. Now, we could replace the absolute value of x minus c with delta, just like we did earlier. However, we already have this factor of delta, which will be enough. It would be best to just replace this absolute value with a fixed constant, which we can do by asserting that delta must be no more than some fixed number, say 1. So what will delta have to be? Well, we'll have to add more to this to account for epsilon, but at the very least, let's insist that delta is the minimum of 1 and some other number yet to be determined. Thus, delta is certainly less than or equal to 1. And so since the absolute value of x minus c is less than delta, we can replace the absolute value of x minus c with 1 to make the expression bigger. So this we've replaced with 1, which we know is greater than or equal to delta. And now that we have this factor, which no longer has an x in it, we know the other thing that we need in the definition of delta. If we can say that delta is less than epsilon over 1 plus 2c, then this last step is going to work out perfectly. If we replace delta with epsilon over 1 plus 2c, then these will cancel out and we'll just be left with epsilon. So to make that last step, we must insist that delta is the minimum of 1 and epsilon over 1 plus 2 times the absolute value of c. So when we replace delta with that, we're only making the expression bigger, and of course these cancel out to give us epsilon. As desired, we have that the distance between f of x and f of c is less than epsilon. So we've shown that x squared is continuous at an arbitrary real number, hence it is continuous on all real numbers. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and be sure to check out my real analysis course and real analysis exercises playlists in the description for more. Thanks for watching.